Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you, and most particularly the members of the class of 2018, to this baccalaureate service. Tonight's service is for seniors, and it is led by seniors. They have all been nominated by their peers or by faculty and staff. We will hear from future occupational therapists, teachers, business leaders, consultants, firefighters, social entrepreneurs. One who will be doing a volunteer year of faith-based service, and another who has been accepted into the Peace Corps. They are idealists and they are pragmatists. They are athletes, musicians, actors, and honors students from Thailand and France and Italy and central Pennsylvania and New Jersey. They are students who have studied abroad, and they are students who have traveled short-term to places like South Africa and Ireland and Vietnam. And there are some who are the first in their family to ever graduate from college. We will hear from Buddhist students, Christian students, atheists, and humanists, all practitioners of community service with great potential for future leadership. The theme for tonight's service is "For Everything There Is a Season." And we gather on this eve of commencement to celebrate the love of family and friends, to reflect on how far we've journeyed in 4 years, and to ponder what it means to truly love one another.
Four years ago, we stepped onto this campus with wide eyes and open hearts. It was our time to tell our story and to create our college experience. We left our families, friends, and high school achievements at home and started our time here at Elizabethtown. It was our time to be who we wanted to be. It was our time to be adventurous. Throughout my 4 years, I got the chance to experience different cultures. I traveled to South Africa with the concert choir and the jazz band in 2015, and immersed myself in the culture for 10 days. I learned many lessons, including what not to do with your unattended items on a beach. I experienced a lot of music, created a plethora of inside jokes, and made lasting memories. A few years later, I traveled to Ireland for 10 days with the concert choir and the jazz band. The jazz band brought jazz to people who had never before experienced it, and the choir performed in the most beautiful venues in the country. The memories that we made in Ireland and South Africa will forever hold a place in my heart. It was our time to be loving. From day one, we started to build relationships with people that we met in our peer groups and in our dorms. We shared as much as we possibly could and played a few too many icebreakers. Slowly, these friendly relationships turned into family relationships. Our pseudo-family at E-Town became almost as important as our biological family. We found people who would real talk with us through late nights and into early mornings. We found people who would lift us up and be there for us when we fell. The friendships that we built will stand the test of time, even as years pass and memories begin to fade. It was our time to be rigorous, constantly pushing to achieve success, always trying to make the grade, staying up late and waking up early for class, joining multiple ensembles with nightly rehearsals, writing papers, taking tests, and preparing for the next big assignments. Yes, these were part of our college story too. But the joy in the success, the pride in the achievements, the recognition by professors, the concerts that brought people, including the musicians and their director, to tears. These made the struggle worth it. Now it is our time once again. It is our time to apply all that we have learned here. It is our time to be adventurous, to be loving, to be rigorous. It is our time to be all that we have ever dreamed of being. It is our time to show the world what we are capable of. Our time at E-Town may be over, but our time to be world changers, music makers, and dreamers is just beginning. The page is blank. The slate is clean. A new story is about to begin. Our time starts now. Thank you.
In the Communication Senior Capstone class, we have a lesson called Budget Day. Essentially, your professor, either Dr. Gillis or Dr. Johnson, stands at the front of the room, shows you an estimate for your starting salary, and then makes a budget that accounts for your rent, utilities, food, and spending money. Obviously, it was the most terrifying hour and a half of my life. As someone who likes Steve Madden shoes and overpriced K-pop t-shirts, budgeting out only $60 per month on clothing is a horrifying thought. Further still, as someone whose plans for a fellowship have fallen through and who does not have a job lined up for post-graduation, even that thin stretched budget for my senior capstone class sounds preferable to having no disposable income at all. The only thing scarier than budget day is graduation. The unknown is intimidating. I'm the kind of person, and I'm sure many of you can relate, who has a lot of big dreams and long-term goals, but I have no idea how point A is supposed to somehow turn into point B. Younger students don't understand my concerns. They haven't had to make a plan yet, and older adults aren't worried for me. Their plans have already turned out. However, I'm sure the seniors in the audience can relate to my anxiety on the matter. You all know the struggle, you're living it with me. So now more than ever, I'm relying on my favorite verse, Matthew 6:34, which says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." As a youth group leader, I'm constantly telling my kids that God has a plan for them, and He has a plan for me too. I don't need to worry about tomorrow. I can focus on what God has done for me today, and He has provided me with a great education from Elizabethtown College and a support system here that won't fail me in the future. I still pray for guidance and direction. However, God asks in Matthew 6:27, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" The answer is no, I cannot. None of us can. Worrying won't help, but now isn't a time for fear. It's a time to trust God. So hold each other accountable. God doesn't want us to panic. He wants us to trust Him.
Good evening. My name is Kendra Strickler, and I'm an early childhood education major. When I was asked to speak tonight on the theme of For Everything There is a Season, I knew I wanted to make it about our lifelong experience as learners. As a teacher, I believe there is a time to learn, a time to teach, and a time to celebrate our strengths and differences. For everything, there is a time to learn. No matter our age, we are learning every day. We need to appreciate our experiences and learn from them. Whether it's a major life event or a minor day-to-day occurrence, there is always something that can be learned. When we take the time to view our experiences, good and bad, as opportunities for learning, we are able to embrace life with a unique vision that challenges us to improve. With this view, we can not only learn ourselves, but we can help others learn as well. For everything, there is a time to teach. My first grade teacher inspired me to become a teacher. She was and continues to be a special role model to me. I knew then, in first grade, that I wanted to be that same kind of role model for my own students someday. My time at Elizabethtown has equipped me to follow this passion with my degree in early childhood education. For me, though, it's more than just a degree. It's a unique growth experience consisting of multiple field placements, classroom discussions, and a multicultural perspective of teaching and learning. And because of this, I feel well prepared to teach the students that will be our future. For everything, there is a time to celebrate strengths and differences. Learning and teaching does not always need to be academic. A quote by Aristotle that guides my teaching is, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." I hope that I can inspire my students to not only think with their minds, but with their hearts, and that they will carry this beyond the four walls of our classroom. When we approach life with an appreciation for those who offer different perspectives and embrace the strengths that each person has, wonderful things can happen. 1,000 thank yous go out to my family, friends, professors, mentors, and the college for their support over these 4 years. I am thankful for the experiences I was blessed with while at Elizabethtown and know I will carry them with me forever. For everything, there is a time to learn, a time to teach, and a time to celebrate differences. The world is our classroom. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching.
would like to talk about my experience at E-Town as someone from Thailand. I chose E-Town because I wanted a small community, and over the past 4 years, I've been able to feel safe and included in many ways here. In these last few months, I've even come to understand what it's like to feel comfortable in the same place. It's very easy to feel like we have everything here, and it's very easy to imagine a world where we exist in our own space, other people live in their space, and these different spaces can exist without too much intermingling. But then I remember that I have moved across spaces, and it's definitely a challenge to step into a new circle without having any kind of connection in it. And this happens anywhere and everywhere in the world. Sometimes I feel weird introducing myself as Maya from Thailand because I'm never sure if people are gonna ask me whether or not I meant Thailand or Taiwan, which are two different countries. People are gonna ask me to repeat it or assume that because I'm from Thailand, I'm too different for them to make an effort to understand. But I found my home here at E-Town, so I understand that there are complexities that go through people's brains when approached by people outside of their normal circle. And I understand that with time, connections can usually be made. But if there's anything I would like people to get out of their E-Town experience, it will be the attempt to understand that while E-Town has meant the world to us, E-Town is not the world. Remembering this, we would like to invite you all to a time of meditation, reflection, or prayer as we prepare to move from this small corner of the world onto a much bigger world, ready to engage that world with all of its diverse ideas, thoughts, cultures, beliefs, and practices. I'll be reading a piece from Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk and peace activist. When we look into the heart of a flower, we see clouds. We see sunshine, minerals, time, the earth, and everything else in the cosmos in it. Without clouds, there could be no rain, and there would be no flower. Without time, the flower could not bloom. In fact, the flower is made entirely of non-flower elements. It has no independent individual existence. It inter-is with everything else in the universe. When we see the nature of interbeing, barriers between ourselves and others are dissolved, and peace, love, and understanding are possible. Whenever there is understanding, compassion is born.
A prayer of blessing from the Diocese of San Jose. Eternal God, in you we live and move and have our being. In your will we find our purpose, and in your wisdom we find our joy. Bless these graduates who have completed a course of study and now begin a new part of their lives. Let them not be troubled about the past nor anxious about the future, but let them be concerned about the moment they must now live. Strengthen their faith and ease their fears, that they may courageously follow your Spirit and live fully the life you give them. When doubt and confusion about their purpose surround them, light their way and give them peace in your plan for them. Let them use the gifts they have received in their studies, that they may become a source of inspiration and blessing for the world. And when each day is ended, give them delight in knowing that the good work you have begun in them shall come to completion in you. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
what does it mean to be a Blue Jay? Does it mean wearing your favorite Blue Jay blue clothing item? Or taking full advantage of the good food and carrot cake on open house days while simultaneously avoiding the marketplace at peak times? Does it mean the embodiment of our motto, educate for service? Or does it mean chucking jumbo-sized marshmallows on a soccer field at a rival team in the name of tradition? Wait, does it mean cheering on your favorite Mr. E-Town contestant despite their questionable dance moves? Well, in all honesty, it encompasses all of these things. Being a Blue Jay is being able to participate in tradition while simultaneously being able to create new ones. A Blue Jay symbolizes vigilance despite the difficulty of the task, and that is exactly who we are as the class of 2018. We have shown strength and dedication in times when there was little. Finals week. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. Blue Jays flock together, whether in small groups or as a whole, but there is never one that is completely alone. Throughout our 4 years here, all of us have been able to discover who we are and who we aspire to be. We have established friendships with people who we never thought we would have, and we are able to travel to places and gain experiences that were what can only be described as once in a lifetime. Each of us have been through different trials and tribulations that have brought us to this moment. And as I stand here today, I acknowledge the continuous guidance and that the faculty and staff here have provided all of us in assisting in our journey of self-discovery. But I would also like to acknowledge and thank each of our parents and family members, because without them, we truly would not have been able to make it this far. So, in closing, as we all prepare to leave the nest and fly to our own prospective regions, just remember that no matter where we are in the world, we will forever be Blue Jays always. Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Kelsey, and when I was a senior in high school, I met Brenna for the first time on my track overnight visit at E-Town. She didn't remember me, but that's okay, because something made me message Brenna on Facebook to ask her to be my roommate. I never would have thought that Facebook message would open the doors to a lifelong friendship.
I honestly don't remember much of the overnight, including Kelsey, because I was really nervous, but I distinctly remember those awkward Facebook messages that decided our fate. I remember the day we moved in, right after our parents left, we walked over to Thompson Gym together for an athletics meeting, and we've hardly been separated since, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Over the past 4 years, Brenna has taught me the importance of using humor to get through any situation. 4 days after purchasing our first pet, a lovely betta fish named Eddie, he perished under Brenna's watch. On this day, she kindly reminded me it was Good Friday, and we eagerly awaited for our beloved fish to rise on Easter morning. Although he didn't rise farther than the top of the tank, we got a good laugh out of it. And that's usually the case whenever Brenna is around. Brenna has the ability to brighten anyone's day with her unending jokes, and has shown me I need to cherish the people God puts in my life.
Since that first move-in day, I've learned so much just by living in the same room as Kelsey. First, I learned that you need to poke holes in the water bottles you use to transport your beloved fish home. Sorry, Eddie. I also learned that Amazing Grace is a song about God's grace and not a woman named Grace. But more importantly, I've learned the impact that small acts of kindness have on others. Whether it be finding little Post-it notes in my bags before leaving for a break, or sending out her daily compliment text, or watching her write personalized notes to each and every one of her students at the end of her student teaching, I've seen Kels make people feel valued and loved just by the small acts of kindness that she does every single day.
One thing we've learned from each other is the value of friendship. After living together for the past 4 years, we've realized we've developed a friendship different than any other. One song that has inspired us through the highs and lows of our college experience is Oceans by Hillsong United. The first verse says this: "You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, My faith will stand.
We found through our friendship that no matter what challenges we face, God will always put people in our lives to help us through them. And because of this belief, our faith has been strengthened through each other.
Amen.
I know it's ironic they picked the short kid that can't see over the podium to talk about growth, but let me take you guys back to a simpler time. I, like many of you, was coming into Elizabethtown as a shy and timid first-year student, ignorant to the world around me. I also came in as someone who lacked a reputation or an identity or a quality that defined me. I wasn't the smartest kid in any room, I wasn't the most athletic, and I definitely was not the most tall kid in any room. My parents told me that going to school, you should put yourself out there and make the extra effort because it makes miles of a difference. Like most high school kids, I didn't really take that advice into much thought. Little did I know how important a random act of kindness could be, and I have my parents to thank for pushing me through that message, and E-Town for reinforcing that and the valuable lesson that was. When I got to campus, something drew me in right away, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. I didn't notice at the time, but it wasn't the academic buildings, it wasn't the turf field, it wasn't the 70-30 girl-to-guy ratio, even though that was anything all the guys were talking about here. What drew me to the campus was that total strangers would go out of their way to smile and wave at you around campus. I couldn't help but finding it unusual that a random stranger would wave and go out of their way to say hi to somebody they didn't even know, but in spite of that, it made me feel right at home. E-Town allows students to grow so much more than the knowledge acquired in textbooks or the lessons learned in a classroom. E-Town has taught me the humility it takes to admit when you're wrong, the courage it takes to ask for help no matter the degree of need, and to find the most joy out of life's most simple and tiny, precious moments. I find that the culture of E-Town has an ability to make someone grow more than just the academic facet of life. It allows boys and girls to turn into men and women. It allows classmates to spark into lifelong friendships, and it turns a passion or an interest into a career. As one of my good friends here once told me, life is a collection of moments. If we sit around and wait for the perfect moment, we'll be waiting for the rest of our lives. Seeing that there's so many precious moments here, why sit around and wait? I encourage all of you to keep growing in these quickly passing moments, unlike myself, and I hope that you can find value in these random acts of kindness that Elizabethtown helped me realize. I hope that our paths cross again, and you can be sure that if they do, you'll always have a stranger to offer a wave and a friendly smile on a day that you might be down to make you feel at home. Thank you.
Good evening. I arrived here 3.5 years ago from France, excited to start a new experience. I remember setting some goals for myself before I arrived. Some of them were to have a very high GPA, to be involved in campus, and to be one of the best basketball players in the varsity team to help our school win championships. Almost every year, those goals changed. And this is not necessarily bad. It's just that by growing, I realized that in order to achieve what I wanted in life, I had to give up some of my former goals and achieve new ones that were more important and more aligned to my values and who I wanted to become. After a year here, I really wanted to dedicate my time to find a career path I would like, so I started to read a lot of books, to speak with many people, and to go to conferences all around the country. A couple months later, I wanted to find a good internship, so I dedicated myself and spent 1 hour every day for several months to apply to jobs or improve my interviewing skills. After last summer, my goal was to get a job at a very specific company where nobody who graduated from E-Town ever worked right after graduation. So I dedicated many hours every day for half a year to achieve my goal. After that, I wanted to successfully start my organization or club in order to help people around me. So I reflected for a long time about the best way to impact people in my community. Goals change all the time, and I'm still thinking about what the next ones are for me. What I was able to develop at E-Town was a set of values. Values help you define your goals so that you can achieve what you want to do in life and be fulfilled. I know that whatever I will do in the future will be related to serving, helping, or inspiring people. I want to pursue that mission, spreading kindness, respect, and integrity. Those are the values I was able to develop during these past 3.5 years, and that won't leave me until the end of my life. I would like to end with a quote from Melinda Gates. If you are successful, it is because somewhere, sometimes, someone gave you a life or an idea that started you in the right direction. Remember that also, you are indebted to life until you help some less fortunate person, just as you are helped. I want to thank all the people who are present in this room tonight, my family, my friends, mentors, professors, and many others who made me arrive where I am today. You are the one who pushed me in the right direction, so thank you.
Good evening, family and friends and peers of Elizabethtown's graduating class of 2018. For everything, there is a season, and what a beautiful season to celebrate this accomplishment. I want to congratulate everyone on their college education. For every procrastination, 3 a.m. paper, and too much coffee was well worth it, as it has all led us to this day. So now what? For the last 4 years, we have had the guidance and structure of classes and requirements to fulfill, all in preparation for tomorrow, graduation. We've had our majors to dictate what avenues to pursue in our education classes, and specifically our service. However, I do not think our time to serve others is over. I would like to counter with, I think it has only now begun. I believe we can set examples by our service. One of the greatest aspects of Elizabethtown College is their interest in serving others as well as the community. In the educational philosophy and goals for our college, we have an emphasis on educating for service. What better way to connect our skill sets from Elizabethtown to our future careers? Tomorrow, the class of 2018 will be graduating, and we can share our knowledge bases, our experiences, our passions, with the community and outside of our careers in all different areas of interest, let alone areas around the country and even the world. My calling to serving others expanded during my involvement with the Called to Lead program. Called to Lead has helped me see the importance in understanding my own vision and strengths. By completing the program, the main takeaway I have is not just being able to recognize your own strengths from a Strengths Quest finder. It's recognizing my attributes, which drives my actions. Acknowledging my strengths makes me more aware of them and what I have to do every day to maintain and better myself. It was not until the Call to Lead program emphasized the importance of leadership that I began to view my major and future career as a leadership opportunity and a way to serve others. I would like to close with a scripture verse which I find great meaning in. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set examples for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Timothy 4:12. I would like the trademark example I set to include helping others find their mission and meaning in their life again after a significant change. Class of 2018, what trademark example would you like to set as you leave this college and Lancaster County to set off serving the world one aspiration and change at a time? Thank you.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew Smith, and I'm a senior mass communications major with a minor in graphic design. Tonight, I would like to speak to you about my education here at Elizabethtown and how it relates to my personal, professional goals and purposeful life work. One of the reasons I chose Elizabethtown College over my other collegiate opportunities is because of Elizabethtown College's mission statement. And I quote, "Elizabethtown College provides a transformative educational experience that cultivates personal strengths and develops a passion for lifelong learning and purposeful life work," unquote. Looking back at the mission statement got me thinking about how I cultivated my strengths towards purposeful life work, which, as some of you may know, has turned out to be very different than what I thought I was going to study when I came to Elizabethtown. I started my search at Elizabethtown College by looking at the Master's Center for Science, specifically the engineering department. After some consideration, I decided that engineering was not for me, and I moved next door to the Hoover Center for Business. After spending an entire academic year pursuing a business administration major with a focus in management, I decided business was not the answer for me either. So I moved next door again. Is anybody picking up on a pattern here? To the Steinman Center to pursue a communications major with a graphic design minor. I stuck with that one. As some of you know, I just completed my semester-long capstone project. My client was Director of Campus Security, Andrew Powell. I assist the campus security community in outreach and education by producing, directing, and creating videos that helped incoming students by getting to know the campus security staff and the many useful services that they provide. Throughout this project, I cultivated my strengths in the area of mass media, specifically video production. This training video for Director Powell allowed me to make my first professional contribution as a communications major to purposeful life work. And it complements nicely the purposeful work I do as a firefighter and an EMT back home in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It has been a physical, emotional, and academic journey for me over the last 4 years, as I am sure it has been for many of you. However, looking back on my 4 years at Elizabethtown College, through the friendships I have made, the lessons I have learned, both inside and outside of the classroom, I would not change a thing. Congratulations, class of 2018, we did it.
was beautiful, guys. Hello, my fellow classmates. I think it goes without saying that the past 4 years have been an emotional roller coaster for all of us. Throughout our time here at Elizabethtown College, we gained amazing friendships, valuable knowledge, and memorable experiences that we will cherish for a lifetime. Through late-night chats with friends, taking part in campus traditions such as the marshmallow game or tree lighting ceremony, and going on cold, long walks to the Brown Lot to pick up our cars as first-year students. It goes without saying that we will have much to look back on when talking about our memories at E-Town in the future. To all of these amazing memories we will hold so dear, I believe it is important to take a step back and recognize the beautiful blessings each and every one of us have in our lives. It can be easy to forget how blessed we are in this life while going through the process of obtaining a bachelor's degree, or a master's degree as well. One of the many blessings I would like all of us to think about are the family members or guardians who has helped us every step of the way over the past 21 plus years. Without the support of the numerous individuals in my immediate family, I don't know where I would be today. I know for sure I wouldn't be here speaking to any of you. Each and every one of us holds someone dear and close to our hearts. Whether it is our family members, significant other, closest friends, or mentors. The people who have influenced our lives in the smallest or biggest ways are some of the greatest blessings any individual could ever ask for. An important small blessing we may not think about is the opportunity we all had to attend Elizabethtown College. In my first week at E-Town, I had the amazing opportunity to be a part of the Momentum program. On the third day of Momentum, Professor Jean-Paul Benowitz, director of the Momentum program, said these inspirational words in front of 40 first-year students. The opportunity you all have to attend college is one of the greatest blessings in the world. Take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and cherish every blessing you have, not only in college, but also in life. As we reflect back on our time here at E-Town and this blessed experience of attending college, let us not forget to recognize and thank every individual who helped us get to this point. It is through the selflessness and the sacrifices of our loved ones that we not only receive to continue countless blessings, but also cherish those same blessings through living out our soon-to-be educated lives. Thank you.
It's time to go now. I, like most of you, have been eagerly awaiting for graduation day for 4 long years. I'm a first-generation college student. I'll be the first in my family to complete a bachelor's degree. And while they've never lacked in support, I'm sure there were times that my family didn't know what to say simply because they haven't been here. I feel that I've done a lot of trailblazing, and frankly, the path was rarely visible. E-Town has been good to me, but I didn't recognize it fully until this very last semester of my undergraduate studies. That's when everything began to come together and when I began to understand that as many times as I wanted to leave earlier, there were still things I had to do, like finding my voice as a writer or taking a service trip to Alabama. This past semester, I've been blessed to have formed a connection with Reverend Amy S.J., and through her in the chaplain's office, I was able to participate in a life-changing civil rights and service-oriented trip to Georgia and Alabama. Being able to connect with other like-minded individuals and to learn and grow together was incredible. Of the group of Blue Jays that came with us, most I had never met before, despite this campus being quite small, but there we were with similar goals and ambitions, and now there are people that I hope to continually connect with throughout our separate journeys of peace promotion and activism. I have a lot of growing and learning to do still, and I think we all do, but I feel ready for the next chapter of my life, and I hope the rest of the class of 2018 does as well. My experiences through E-Town have helped me to become more thoughtful, more patient, and more motivated to devote myself to the things that I truly care about. I feel confident in my ability to apply my skills, talents, and knowledge to help our world progress in a positive direction, and I hope you all do too, wherever your path takes you.
For everything, there is a season. For many of us, these past 4 years involved experiences from a range of seasons. Seasons of grief to elation, and seasons of stress to triumph. I'm sure there's times throughout these years that many of us would like to forget, but there are also surely times that we can look back, point to, and say, had it not been for this moment, I would not be the person I am today. I know for me that moment occurred last summer. This past year was a completely transformative one. My perception of myself shifted from no longer a young, inexperienced college student, but now an empowered and respected young woman. I grew up, and I realized that once we graduate, we are no longer students and followers, but now leaders and influencers of change. We will be entering a new season in our life where it is time to take ownership of what we do, who we become, and the legacy we leave. It will be our duty to employ the skills we gain during our time at this prestigious institution to make a difference in the world, to lend a hand to those in need, to lead by example, to treat people we encounter with kindness and respect, and to be relentless in the pursuit of truth and service. We were given a great gift. Attending Elizabethtown College is a great gift. We all had the opportunity to spend 4 entire years studying, learning, and growing in a safe and supportive environment with incredible mentors, teachers, and resources. We were all given opportunities that other young adults in countries dream about and are sometimes persecuted for. We were given these opportunities, and for many of us, we did not think twice about them. I will be the first to admit my guilt in failing to recognize how incredibly blessed we all are. We are blessed to live in this country, blessed to attend this college, and blessed to have endless resources to fuel our success. However, with these blessings comes great obligation. An obligation to serve, to achieve, to impart wisdom, and to leave a legacy. We must be motivated to do more after college, to try to achieve some semblance of the idealistic change we learned so much about in college, to not allow this degree to simply be just a piece of paper, but to make it mean something. Tomorrow, we will all graduate and leave the Blue Jay nest. Each of us will embark on a different path, entering a season in our lives where we will be eagerly searching for our purposeful life work. Although our first jobs may not quite be this work, do not become discouraged. Be fearless in the pursuit of achieving that perfect job, the one that energizes you, excites you, and gives you a sense of purpose, because it is worth it. And once you find your niche, your purposeful life work, give it everything you have and make this next season legendary. Thank you.
Great job to all of our speakers and musicians tonight. Let's give them a final round of applause. The class of 2018 has tried to leave a lasting impression here at Elizabethtown College through laughter, friendship, perseverance, and hard work. As we prepare to pass on the flame to next year's class, we now invite the officers of the class of 2019 to come forward.
We, the officers of the class of 2018, are about to pass on the mantle of leadership to you, the officers of the class of 2019. We want to remind you that in countless ways, the senior class members shape the climate of the campus and determine the experience that underclassmen will have here at Elizabethtown College. This is an awesome responsibility and not to be taken lightly.
The senior class officers are responsible for taking leadership and shaping a positive environment for intellectual, social, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being on campus. The senior class officers lead the senior class in working to create a campus that truly educates for service, and is also an enjoyable place to live for 4 years. If you, the officers of the class of 2019, are willing to accept this responsibility, please say, "We will."
This large candle that has been burning throughout the service represents the light that the class of 2018 has shown at Elizabethtown College. As we light the candles of the officers of the class of 2019, we now officially pass the mantle of leadership to the class of 2019. This large candle also represents the light that the members of the class of 2018 will shed on the world as we end our journey here at Elizabethtown and step into the future. Should I go? Just wait for it. Yep. Awesome. Okay. 4 years ago, at our freshman induction, we shared a litany and lit candles in the dell, and we said hello to each other and Elizabethtown College. Tonight, as we prepare to say farewell to our college years, I invite all the members of the class of 2018 to stand as we read together one more time. Would the senator please stand and join me reading the senior litany in your program, please? Okay. Over the last 4 years, we, the class of 2018, have shared a journey. We celebrate the knowledge we have gained from our coursework and friendships we have made. Tonight, we stand on the threshold of a new adventure. As we prepare for a new journey in a world full of both uncertainty and great possibility, we remember that the college seal calls for Deus, Lux et Veritas, and the college motto is Educate for Service.
We reaffirm our commitment to God, light, truth, and service.
Throughout our lives, let us continue our quest for knowledge, justice, and truth.
Let us always remember that the light of ages shines unwavering, even in the midst of darkness.
Thank you.
Immediately following our service, we invite you to stay to continue the celebration with food, music, and clearly our graduates, who we all are celebrating, at Reflections by the Lake. You will find the location by going out the front doors. And now the benediction. Here, in this time of transition, of passage, surrounded by light and love and hope, we prepare to move from one season of life to the next, holding on to our memories as we walk toward the future. As we go from this place, may we seek opportunities to give our time, to listen, to reflect, to serve, and to care. May we find ourselves making time to ground ourselves, to practice compassion, to go the extra mile. In sharing our gifts, strengths, knowledge, and passions, may we discover time's true value and find ourselves truly present to life and the many possibilities that are ever before us. Amen.